T-minus 50 seconds. T-minus 40 seconds. T-minus 30 seconds. T-minus 20 seconds. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Hello, everybody.
Yeah.
Welcome to Lunchin with Lisa. Okay. Oh my gosh, look at all these beautiful faces on the show today. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I want to thank you all for joining me on Lunchin with Lisa. Today is August the 20th, and this is the third show. So I'm going to give you the title of the show, the theme, because we might get into some other stuff too, because it is Luncheon with Lisa, so anything might happen. But I did want to remind everybody that we're still celebrating National Black Business Month, which is for the month of August. So I am continuing with that theme, in addition to some other things. So I wanted to talk about, before I get started, we're going to talk about competition and whether it's healthy or harmful or both. I think it can be either. But I think we had the right people on the show to talk about how we do competition in a healthy and productive way. But before I get started, I started last week this little segment called Just Because y'all know me. I like to just shout people out for no reason at all, just because. So I did want to shout out a young lady. I was part of a group, and we were actually supporting other entrepreneurs in their businesses, just because. And I won 1 week of, there were certain things you had to do. You had to go like their page and things like that. So I participated and actually won this lip gloss. And I don't know if you can see it. But it's a beautiful lip gloss called Natalia Megan Hair and Beauty. The young lady's name is Shanika Quarterbaum. I gave her an inbox letting her know that I was going to shout her out. But her name is Shanika Quarterbaum. This is her business. And the color that I have on, this is an amazing color. But the color I have on is called Angel. She has some other wonderful colors on her site, and she also has hair bundles, all kinds of makeup, beauty items. So you all need to go check out her website. It's nataliambeauty.com, and I'll also add it on my Luncheon with Lisa page so you all can check it out. Last week I actually highlighted a young lady who did a book. And she had her book signing last week. So I actually shouted her out for a book. So that's my little Just Because moment. So what we're going to do is actually get started. I'm going to introduce all of my guests, and then we're going to get into the conversation and just talk a little bit. So first, we having y'all, when I introduce you or say your name, just raise your hand so they know who you're talking to, just in case they ain't reading. You know, reading is fundamental, but people be lunching. I'm just saying. So, so first we have Sharon Washington. Sharon Washington is a marketing and communication professional who has imparted her wisdom and expertise for over 2 decades. She has been deemed the marketing whisperer by many because of her uncanny ability to assist businesses in developing innovative, result-driven, simple Marcom solutions. Founder and CEO of P3 Solution, which is a full-service marketing and communications company that specializes in providing easy marketing, strategy, messaging, design, and social media solutions for businesses. Sharon is a Sharon is a sought after international speaker, trainer, facilitator, professor, author. The list goes on and on and on. She is currently a professor at Trinity University in Washington, D.C., who has been described as the real deal when it comes to engagement. Please welcome Sharon Washington.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Welcome. And we also have Sean Mason, who is a proud entrepreneur for over 20 years. Who has worked with corporations, nonprofits, government agencies, and small businesses in helping them to communicate with their ideal customer. As a work from home expert and author, Sean has been featured in Forbes, Baltimore Sun, the Urbanite magazine, as well as other media outlets. Her copywriting skills have been seen in ads, training documents, and brochures of companies like Domino's Pizza, Lazy Boy Furniture, Ford Motor Company, and Small Business Administration, as well as many others. Sean wants to see everyone win. Sean is the founder and CEO of Significance Group LLC, which is a boutique digital marketing agency that works with the heart-centered, servant-driven, creative entrepreneurs who want to build a strong, scalable digital enterprise. Author of several books, including The Work from Home Bible, that is due to be released fall of this year. Please welcome Sean Mason to Lunchin with Lisa.
Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for having me, Lisa. I'm so excited.
Absolutely. And then we have Grace. Grace, I want you to pronounce your last name because I'm in student mode now. Grace, pronounce your last name for me.
It's Gemfee. Gem
Gemfee.
like a diamond, fee like you gotta pay for it.
Gemfee. We have Grace Gemfee, who is affectionately known as Gigi, and often referred to by her parents as a busybody. We'll explain that a little bit. Grace has been an avid planner user since the age of 10. Back to school wasn't complete unless she had her daily planners on her fifth grade back to school list of things to have. She had to have a planner even back as far as fifth grade. And we'll talk a little bit about that because I think everybody on this show is a planner person. Okay. So Grace feels that the daily planners have been imperative in keeping her organized. So about 3 years ago, she realized that there were no planners that reflected the diversity of is it Ghanaian heritage?
Yeah.
Ghanaian heritage, and knew that at that moment she had to create a planner. Grace wanted a tool for growth, self-care, self-awareness, and not just goal setting, but goal completion. And on June 1st, 2019, she launched her very own line of 2020 planners, received with open arms from many, including me.
Oh, wow.
She is now thrilled to introduce the 2021 say this always get it's a tongue twister.
That's okay. The Aravista planner.
Aravista planner, which is focused on inspiring ourselves and others to live intentionally and to make daily decisions based on purpose. She calls this collection the Inspire Collection. Please welcome Grace to the show.
Hi, everyone. Super excited to be here.
Yes, I am excited to have all you ladies here. And of course, my mission too is to connect. And I sometimes there's a plan with who comes on the show and sometimes it's not. But sometimes when I do, I decide who I want to come on or I reach out to people and it doesn't hit me till afterwards, the connections. It's like I think about this would be great based on the topic, and then all of a sudden I'm like, oh my goodness, I see the connection here. So for many reasons, from Sharon, Sean, Grace, we'll make the connections as the evening goes along. But I wanted to actually get into our subject of today, which was competition, which can be a juicy topic. Okay. Some people want to talk about competition and some people might not want to talk about competition. But let's talk about the healthy and the harmful. And let's start with the harmful because we want to end on a light note. So let's talk about the cons of competition, because I want to start off by saying that a lot of times I've noticed that we end up in competitions that we were even unaware we were in. Um,
Well,
yeah. And I'm sure we'll explain that a little bit. But a lot of times we don't even know we're in competition. But I think that comes with the unhealthy part of this and how we start to compete with each other in a way that's not good. So let's talk about it a little bit. What is your experience? What are your thoughts on competition and ways that it's probably not a good thing? Let's start with Sharon, and then.
Oh man, really? No, this is a great subject for me to talk about, because when I talk about competition, I'm not even talking about other people. Like, I don't even see other people in my lane. I could literally be in the room with Seth Godin, high price marketer, and would not care. So, but I think what happens, especially when we talk about, and I'm competitive, like I'm the type of tomboy that used to compete as a youth. And I know that I have an assertive and aggressive personality, that I come in, and if you're not turning up with me, then I'm probably the center. So it may feel away. But I think that internally, individually, we are our own worst enemy when it comes to competition, because I think we place too much emphasis on people competing against us, or the assumption that there's a competition going on. So I think it's more of the individual in their head about building the competition. Because see, if someone's really like competing against you, or they're doing what you're doing, which is, by the way, flattery. Think of it as flattery, right? If they're doing what you're doing, or they're copying your move, and you feel like it's competition, if you don't feed into it, who they're competing against? So for me, it is about the mind. If you keep that competition kind of mindset for yourself, it will destroy you. You'll find yourself getting in the mix of messiness, and don't do that to yourself.
Right. I agree. So what about you, Sean?
I'm like Sharon. It does it. I almost expect it. I think that when someone is looking at what you're doing and want to emulate, and they go as far as imitating, or even far as stealing, or actually mirroring, either way, you're still the creator and the generator of the idea. Yeah. You are the impetus. It started with you. And so as much as those ideas are precious, I've always seen that it sparks me to just create more. It causes me it expands. It causes me to shift it a little bit, put some more flavor on it, like put some spice in the gumbo. So,
it's a motivator for you.
Right. And really just not just that. I actually think that we need competition to keep us. I know I'm shifting, Lisa, from the harmful, but I really feel like we need it so that we're not lazy. Like you said, I'm competing against myself. So when someone does something great, or something that I want to do, all that does is tell me that it's possible, right? I mean, I'm sitting there going like, dang, you wrote 8 books in a year? Okay, let me set my game up. Right? So for me, that lets me know what's possible. It opens my mind and causes me to see other venues and other possibilities. And so I definitely see how it can be hurtful, or harmful, when you make it all about you. But really, when it's about the idea, about the proliferation of your product concept or brainchild, I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I agree with you. What about you, Grace? What is your take on it?
I actually feel very similarly to the ladies. I really feel as if I think the definition of competition is really, really important. And I think when we look at the inherent definition, it's all about other people. And we're making it about the focus on what someone else is doing in conjunction with us, or as opposed to us. And so I honestly gave this some thought before we started, and I sat down and said, okay, let me really assess what I think competition is. And I think I prefer the word, actually. I had like a negative, I don't know, kind of visceral reaction to it. I feel like the word to actually use as inspiration. Because if you're competing against someone, and this is not even about someone looking at you and competing against you because you can't control that, right?
Right.
As Sean said, that's just, that's more grease to your elbow. It means you're doing what you need to do. But when you are looking at someone else and you are making them your litmus test for whether or not things are going well or whether or not your ideas are popping or whatever it is, you are defeating your own purpose, because God has placed something within you that's specific to you that only you can execute, in a specific way. And if you're looking at someone else, you're just attempting to copy their gift and you didn't have that gift. That's not for you to do. They can turn you on, as they wrote 8 books and, you can write 9. That's awesome. But it really should be, I think in my mind, more about the inspiration that comes from someone else doing something well that you might want to, kind of, and well, not even emulate. You should be in your lane and execute the way that you need to. But I don't know. I don't think I like the word competition. I prefer inspiration.
Yeah, I think it's 2 sides to it. And what I like to look at competition, because I guess it depends on the individual and how they look at competition. Right. So when I look at it, and there have been, everybody has experiences when competition wasn't actually a good thing. Right. But what I try to look at it as, even if we're sharing, because, I know we say stay in our own lane, but even sometimes people are actually in somewhat the same lane. They're doing the same kind of things, but one person is a zigzag, one person is a straight line, one person is a wavy line, but we're all kind of in the same lane. But my issue is that we're all going to get to the finish line at some time or another. We all won't get there at the same time. Some will get there before others. But my feeling is healthy competition is so, and of course, when I was starting to think about this, book or something came into my mind, like, oh my goodness, I can't help it. But my thing was, so what's the sign at the end of the finish line? So when you finish, what sign are you holding up for the next person that's coming down your lane, their lane, whatever lane, saying you got this, it's all good, whatever? That's what I see as healthy competition, that we can all be doing similar things. It's always going to be your way of doing it, but are you still cheering someone else on? You can actually be in the same lane with someone, them doing it their way, you doing it your way, and you can cheer each other on. It doesn't have to be, I'm going to win long as I'm not cheering her on, or long as I'm not pushing her forward, because we all can get there. And we all won't arrive at our finish lines don't look the same. You know what I'm saying? So I think what happens is we start to compare and think that the picture is the same for everybody. So if I don't do what they did, how they did it, when they did it, I didn't do it in a year, it took me 10, then it means something different to them. And it doesn't have to be that way. So I do think the word competition is something that I think internally we need to think differently about it, because it can be a positive. But I think when we start to compare ourselves to others, like something I say usually when I go to conventions or conferences or something, I always say, the sun shines on all of us, but we grow differently from the sun. We all grow, but differently. So we have to start understanding that, where we are is where we are. It has nothing to do with the person next to us. So,
I want to add to that, because what I usually say, and I probably come from a more a space of, I am very confident in what I deliver and who I deliver it to, right? Mm-hmm. So I always say, I'm not a one-trick pony. So while we're talking now, the ideas are flowing. So whatever I'm doing, I'm probably already thinking about doing something else in conjunction to that. I don't even look at it as stealing. I go, well, do it. Well, try it the way you want to do it, right? Do it. Secondly, if we're always in the mindset of competition and we're always thinking about what others are doing, how in the world can you focus on succeeding?
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Right. So I guess that's one of the reasons why I don't really focus on, I work with other marketers. I actually give other marketers and branders business because I can't do it all. My company can't do it. I'm pretty sure I could hire other people to do it all. But I feel I'm about being bountiful. I don't have a mindset of scarcity. So that's why I don't need, like Grace said, that word competition. It's not really for me.
Yeah, but but here's what's interesting. When you were talking, Lisa, I thought about the male-dominated industry of entertainment, specifically comedy for me. Mm-hmm. And there also is a when you talked about competitions that you didn't even know you were in,
Right.
Mhm.
I think that there is a culture that encourages competition, and that wants to put, we got to compare who's the latest, the best rapper or the best comedian, and it can only be one.
Right.
Right. So
Right.
we can buy into that. And so I think that there's an external pressure that can happen.
Mhm.
I mean, when you get on the stage, you can only have one woman on the show, or better yet, you have two women on the show, and they're like, oh, well, she's fun. And it's almost like somehow this is supposed to provide an edge, right?
Right.
And if you're not careful, because the one thing that we've all talked about is that we're good with us. So I think competition can definitely be, especially when you're put in a situation and you're not secure in you.
Right.
That's a whole nother bag.
Right.
Because now you're taking on something that, like you said earlier, Lisa, you didn't even know you were in.
Right.
Because sometimes because you're not in that space, you're like, right. I'm not even thinking competition, but then some things kind of pop up and you realize, oh, that's what this was, but I wasn't thinking that. But I mean, and it goes to men and women, like why, women, that could be a whole nother show on talking about women and the competition with the men and us feeling the need to compete with each other to be the chosen one and all of that. I mean, but I think sometimes people are conditioned. So part of what I wanted to do was just make sure that we touch on those who maybe aren't strong in that, maybe don't recognize it and then fall into it, and tips on how to keep them aware and to push forward. Because sometimes you'll fall into something and not realize, like I said, you in it, but you got to know what it is. And then say, okay, I see what's going on here. Let me just get back on in my, or make my lane clearer. Because sometimes it's just a matter of clearing it up for somebody else. Not that you're competing with them, but you letting them know, hey, I'm good. It's not a fight.
We're not in the same lane.
Right. I mean, and sometimes people don't know because they have an issue. So, they've already honed in where you're just kind of oblivious to what's going on. So I just want to help people because I see, people getting into entrepreneurship and stuff, and it can be, some stuff can go down in the world of I wouldn't even say just entrepreneurs, and just job in general. Women with men, it could be IT versus whatever, there's competition everywhere. So I think that people, especially our young people, should be more prepared, because sometimes they get caught up in, if you're in this closed bubble of, a certain situation, then competition is going to be brand new for you. And if you on top of your game where you are, even with me, I have to transparency. When I'm in a job or have been in a position where I was on top of my game, and then I get a new position, and now I'm not at the top of that game for a minute, I'm like, okay, wait a minute, give me a minute, because you feel some kind of way until you get into your, to your comfort zone. So then you start to feel things going around you. So it's those moments that I want to help people to understand what it is. It doesn't have to be bad. And it can be a good thing to motivate you forward. So, and I like what you all are doing. I know everybody is confident what they're doing. And look, planners, even though they're planners all over, I love all kinds of planners. But I'm telling you, when I saw Grace's planner, it was like, even if I had another planner, that over there, okay, that's for another time. But right now, yes. And then I want to share with everybody, because every planner is different. Yes. Every planner has a different edge to it. Every planner looks different. So what's wrong? It's not what I'm saying? That's healthy competition, because I'm going to have them all. But when I see Grace's, I'm going to know what Grace's does for me. Right. And then she get that shout out. And then another one here, that's how it works for me. And then with Sean and Sharon, and I'll give a little background. Last time we were on the same show. Well, that would be aging us. Okay, so I don't care, because I love my 50s. But I'm just saying, when was that? 2012?
12? Was that 12?
12, 13?
Well, yeah, it was either 12 or 13. So we started. So Grace, I had a show. Lisa was a producer, and Sharon was a guest.
Yeah, I was a permanent guest, Grace. Like, like that person that comes and kind of hang around.
Right. Sharon back on the show again.
And it was a good time. It wasn't even like we forgot we were on the show. We were just chilling. But I know you all are a beast at what you do. And it's not work. You know how I used to say, who was the singer? I can't remember, but some people, they're straining when they're trying to get that note out, but then there are other people who hit those notes and it's just like drinking water. I'm like, yes, and that's what I've envisioned, people who are just good with where they are, and don't mind just letting people know, hey, this is the lane I'm in. It's good. You ain't even got to scoot over. I'm good.
Right. Come on, you getting a call. You need a ride to the lane you getting to. Like, come on in the car.
Absolutely. You need a ride. That's right. You need a ride. I can drop you off right up the block. Because I'm going a little further up. But
okay, I got you. Come on, I got a ride for you.
So do me a favor, y'all, and kind of share like some tips on what you can do to motivate yourself to stay focused on what you're doing. And it doesn't have to be necessarily competition, but just stay focused on what you're doing. And like Sharon mentioned earlier, that is kind of a compliments for people to actually admire something you're doing and want to kind of try it and do it. I think that's how we start off with so many things that we do. When I started the magazine, I was writing for someone else out of LA. And when she had to give it a break, of course, I was thinking, okay, I did these interviews and people will think that I am a psycho because I got these interviews and I'm just doing nothing with them. Like, why did she interview me?
Right.
So, then my mind started working like Sharon's. I think we all just start thinking, when people start talking, I start thinking like, oh my goodness, that's a great idea. And then it was like, let me try this, and it wasn't even a competition thing with her. It was like, yeah, do your thing. Right. And I think that's what, helped me to like, okay, yeah, let me see what I can do. She gave me help and we still support each other. And that's how it's supposed to be. You're supposed to be able to, at the end of the day, support whoever and like, girl, you doing your thing. You know how many publishers and authors and everything, we gonna have to be good with each other.
Right. Right.
Yeah. So what are some tips that helped you to stay focused on what you're doing?
Okay, Grace, go ahead, because Sean and I will,
I was like, go on, Grace.
Go on.
Honestly, when it comes to staying focused and staying in your lane, I always say, for me, it's about excellence. One of my personal mottos is always be excellent, even when excellence is inconvenient. So if I'm focused on making sure that I give either, when someone comes to my booth, the best vendor experience possible, or when I'm sitting down to plan the preceding year's planners, I have to be focused on, okay, how can I top what it is I did last time? Mm-hmm. I can't really look, honestly, as you were saying, it's not something I can do to really sit here and look at what everybody else is doing, because I'll be scattered. I really need to sit down and say, okay, what did I do well? It's all about really understanding who you are first and being self-aware. What didn't I do well? It has nothing to do with anybody else. And how can I overcome those deficits and continue to move in an excellent way? So for me, it's really about focusing on how I can tweak the areas that were, I don't like to call them weaknesses, areas of improvement.
Right.
That helps keep me focused, because all of us have enough of them, where if you are focused on making those things better, you really, the time that you're dedicating to yourself to enhance what your craft, you'll be where you need to be. That's just my personal.
You have so much time dealing with you that you don't even know what somebody else is doing.
Absolutely. So for me, it's all about the connection. So you need a tribe. You're a tribe. Like what has moved me, helped me stay grounded, has elevated me in excellence, is the tribe I choose to connect with, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm not talking about people, because we could talk about support and people buy your book and buy your classes. Oh no, that's not the support I'm talking about. I'm talking about the support that'll be like, let me put you to the side, sis. That's awful. The brand is horrible. This is not working. Here's my perspective. Real talk. And you are open enough to accept that they're not being malicious, but helpful. Right. So I think that everyone needs to find their selected tribe. Now, I happen to build a tribe for myself. At least is in the tribe. Well, Sean's in the tribe. Like, these people I can go to and I can talk to, not only about supporting me as a business owner, but supporting me in internally, right?
Right.
So I can go and cry on these folks' shoulder and not hear about it on social media. So find you definitely a trusted tribe and build in that. And just because, look, here's a caveat to that. Just because they don't buy your products and services does not mean they do not support you.
This is true. This
Believe
is true.
that.
This is true.
That's good. That's good, Sharon. I feel like that was like boop.
No, that was powerful right there, because I think that people equate that to the support, and that's not always it, because there are people that will buy your book, but it's not really supporting you the way you really probably want the support. Right. It is that person that's going to tell you, I don't know, I don't really like that, or and that takes time to build that kind of tribe that you can trust. That is not coming from a mean-spirited place, or that they don't want to see you win. Right. And that's why, when I read about Sean, and definitely from working, being around all of you all, and then Grace's energy, the minute I saw her, it was like, those are the kind of people that I like, people who want to see other people win. Okay. Mm-hmm. I mean, because automatically when I see that you want others to win, I want you to win. Right. So it's a no-win situation.
Everybody wins. It's a win-win. Everybody wins.
And it's not a cliche kind of thing. It really does work that way. When I feel energy like that, then I automatically want you to be part of the winning team too. So we can't lose with that kind of, circle.
Authentically. You want people to win, even if you are not winning. That's right. So when we talk about competition, sometimes we see people winning, and that jealous spirit gets up in us, and we go, you know what? I'm not feeling this. That's where it comes from. The hate comes from, right?
So I'm actually going to just take what you all just said, and what I encourage people to do is not be afraid to evolve publicly. Mm-hmm. Not be afraid to, you're Marcom, like that sounds great. But you also might decide that, like I said, your magazine is more important, or your conference is more important, right. It's okay for your planner to turn into a course, to turn into a documentary, right. to turn into a travel business. Right. That's one thing that I feel like people, we're often negating the creative power that's in us. Mm-hmm. And I don't really have the energy to think about what anybody else is doing, real talk, like real 100. Cause I'm so busy thinking and creating and building and listening to the spirit in me, so that I can continue to produce and be who I was created to be. Right. When you see your journey as something as more fluid than one destination, those things don't necessarily, you know what? That speech, like Sharon said, that speech that I did, that was okay. But you know what? Speaking wasn't my thing then.
Right. I
wasn't in a good mood that day. Right. I'm totally okay with becoming a better speaker in the season that I am speaking, or the season that I am, I'm taking time off to be with my family. I'm taking time off to be healthier. I'm taking time off to do whatever. Like, we got to stop thinking that everything has to be. So on the flip side of that, evolve publicly, but also be okay with resting and evolving privately. I think we so busy trying to, like I said, keep up or let everybody see what's going on. They don't need to know all that. Right. So I'm totally cool with, your show being off for a year, or you missing a year of a conference or whatever, you coming back and reevaluating the covers of your planner. Because we have to realize that it's all process. Yes. We're always changing. And so that whole competition thing, it's like, y'all not even like, you ain't even on my level. You ain't even in the place where I am. Like I said, I'm developing all kinds of stuff. And it's not
hitch a ride. Tell them get in the car. Get in the car.
Just get in the car.
And I'm moving though. I ain't parked though. So
I'm not parked.
You gotta be quiet because I'm still moving.
And guess what? You don't have to know we on our way to Cleveland.
Exactly.
That's right. Well, but see, that's your tribe right there, because your tribe are the people who don't need to know what the destination is.
Right.
They don't need to know how we going. They don't need to know that we sleeping in a tent. For all of y'all that I invited to the 39-mile walk, that y'all was like, I'm not doing that because I got a picture tent, but I'm still coming for you. But I mean, people that just say whatever you doing, I'm in. And I'll throw Lincoln, the photographer for the magazine. From the beginning, I had no clue what I was doing. All I said was, I know before I know anything else, I need a photographer for a magazine. And he said, I'm in.
Yeah, because he's a Leo. Because he's a Leo. And
Well,
you have to know. I'm sorry. Leo. It's Leo month. We still here.
I
You
knew
knew it was coming. You knew it was coming.
You
Leo.
knew it was coming.
He's a Leo. I've been
I
doing
knew it
Lincoln
was coming.
since
I
he
was going to say it
17.
earlier, but I said, I'm going to save it. But
you know what, Grace, pray. Between the Tauruses and the Leos, Lisa got something going on with her. I don't know what it is.
That she keeps them. She keeps the Leo
and
around.
We don't know what Grace was your birthday.
I'm a Sag.
That's
You're
good. My husband's a Sag. Even us out.
Amazing. I know he's amazing.
I keep Sagittarius is around me. My best friend, my mentor, everybody. Sag. Best
So there's like Sean, like I saw Sharon's comment was definite synergy. Definite synergy. But I enjoy y'all. Y'all are just so cool.
Sorry, it's Leo and it's
Look, that's my hashtag, them Leos though. Okay.
Because we can't always do them. We can't
no, it's true. It's so true. And it's true. Well, we know it.
You know what? But they will call before you can call it. They're going to call it. So it's like you don't have nothing on them because they like, I know I could be a lot. Okay, Aiden, work with it. Okay.
Yes. See,
well, we out there, Tauruses. We know we could be a lot, but we're not going to be screaming it over and over and over again. Now, like I told you the first time, that could be a lot. Don't say it again.
That's it.
Right.
That's it.
Just know.
No, don't come back with me because next time I'm gonna say, look, okay, I gave you for one. No, I'm just kidding.
No, my mama is a Taurus, so my mama and dad, Taurus mama, Sag daddy. You get a Leo. There you go. That's what happens. That's what happens. Yeah.
Yes, you gotta love them Leos. You do. But I so enjoy y'all. So these tips are wonderful because I think that this is what people need to move forward. And the fact that we're in with COVID and people are starting to get those creative juices going, this is the perfect time to not be boggled down in, I don't want to do what somebody else is doing. I don't want to do this. Sean knows that when I do the crafts, when I shift, because my mind goes all over the place. When I shift into craft mode, I am thinking of a patent for, I'm going to do this kit. I come up with all kind of stuff. And I said, well, I want to do, somebody else is doing that. But then she's like, what that got to do with what you do? You're right. So I just keep it going. But I mean, I do admit that sometimes I'm thinking about that for a minute because I want to be original and I want to be, you always want that thing that's different. Mm-hmm. But you have to remember that the fact that you're coming up with it is the difference. Mm-hmm. And sometimes it's just that simple, that it's you coming up with it as opposed to somebody else. So it's going to have your touch. And that's what the difference is. So just do it. That's what I say.
From a marketing standpoint, when you think about competitive difference, right? Mm-hmm. It could be new, better, or different. So it doesn't have to be all three, but it could be one of those things. You don't have to reinvent the wheel.
Right.
Look, that's why we have Burger, Shake Shack, McDonald's, Burger King, and on and on and on. And we keep inventing new burger places, right? I eat a basic burger, right? So it's okay, even if you have that idea that somebody else is doing. You just have to find your competitive difference. And it could be the difference in that you just care, like you more personalized than another person. So
that's true.
I'm with Lisa. Do it.
Yeah,
do it.
And you know what you just said, and I want you to think about, this is also about people.
Yes.
About humanity, civility. There are a lot of companies that we thought would be around forever.
Yeah.
And they lost sight of the people. They lost sight of the heart. They lost sight of, or better yet, they lost sight of the future. So you coming in, just because, like you said, you might be Burger Shack, Burger Mac, whatever, the other burger joints, they're not treating the people Right. They're not treating their employees.
Right.
Or they have one system with their fries that make them saltier than yours or whatever.
Right. Right.
There's so many elements to an organization or a company. I think it's like you say, and here's the thing, you're going to be making it better like as you do it. I mean, great. You looked at planners since you were 8, whatever years old, and you made it.
Is she 8 now? Is she like 15 now? Like what are you talking about?
You're right.
Like,
that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, like you just did this yesterday. No, I'm just kidding. Because she does look so young. It's like, really? But you did start planning. I don't think I was planning that young, but I think it was there. I just hadn't quite put my finger on it yet.
Right.
So it's nice to hear this, that even that young, yes, you do kind of, I called it OCD at times. I was like, okay, I just have issues.
No,
but I love the planning concept. I love now I have struggles in my marriage with that because everybody's not a planner. So sometimes it's kind of like, okay, you got to plan that. We just can't do it. So there are pros and cons to planning too. But with Grace's planner, when I saw the planner, it was before I even saw what was in the planner, it was the packaging. Mm-hmm. And that's packaging is everything.
We're making Sharon jealous. Grace, could you send it through StreamYard? Can you send her?
Oh my God!
Don't show me. Don't show. Do you see it?
Don't show you. Okay,
show me. I want to see.
Yes,
so you want the package
just a little bit.
See, okay. So I'm in love right there because it's blue.
Oh wait,
they know.
Oh shoot, I can't put. But she had that in a bag, in
the gold bag.
In the gold bag.
Get ready, Sharon. Pull it out, girl. Look.
Okay, so just you want my credit card number right now?
Wait a minute. Okay, so real quick because we said we are going to talk about something else when we get off here. That is exactly what happened when we were at Sharon Parker's event. I had a table across from Grace, and Sharif and I were at that table. I was all in somebody else's business. Okay, I was listening while she was talking to somebody else about that planner, and when she pulled that planner out, I said, okay, she said, well, I'm going to tell you what it, explain. You won't have to tell me nothing. Okay. I think I left my credit card.
I don't need to know that. It's a planner.
And I went to the front and did something else and was like, no, you ain't even got to explain. I'll come back to get the explanation, but I want that planner.
Mm-hmm. That's why I get that planner. Take my card now before I get caught up.
I'm buying that planner tonight. And that's real. That's
absolutely.
It.
Thank you. I appreciate the support. I can't wait for you to get it and to unveil it. And I want to hear all your.
Oh, you'll see it. I'm the person that's going to post it.
It's definitely something from the heart. She put everything she had into that. And it's noticeable.
Nice.
It absolutely is.
I wish I'd have known that. So for 47 days, I buy black anyway, but buying black and promoting black. Until I turned 47. And so I was trying to find different things. I found applesauce, granola, all types of different things other than, and no offense to t-shirts and soap and things like that. But I got lots of friends with soaps and candles and we do so much more. I found beans.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I found a ton of stuff. So I'm on it.
Yeah.
That's not a toilet paper guy. Black.
You got a toilet paper?
Not even joking.
Detergent.
Also, we got some networking to do. Definitely. And we do have a question. Maria is asking. We'll get that information to you, Maria. Maria is asking about how to get the planner. So definitely. But before we go, and we do have a Luncheon with Lisa moment at the end. But there was a subject that we talked about. What did we chat about before we went live that we said we were going to talk about?
The goodness of COVID. Yeah, the goodness of COVID. The goodness of 2020.
2020. Okay, so real quick, we're going to have a quick discussion because I think there is somebody on both sides of wanting to redo 2020 and kind of wanting to keep 2020 where it is because of what it has, produced. Not saying that it's a good thing that's going on, but what came from it has been a good thing. So let's share, let's go across and just share what 2020 has meant to you during these COVID times.
So I'm I'm great with it because it slowed me down to take me to actually achieve goals that I set. Because like, I'm pretty sure all of us, especially right here, we have all types of ideas that we wanted to do, right? And so there's not enough time in the day to bring them to fruition and still work in our profession. So the fact that it took me to slow all the way down, I mean, like to a stop at one point, to figure out kind of what the next step was brilliant for me for 2020. And the fact that the world was doing it with me means that I was in no rush to kind of produce. Right. So I was working, but I was in no rush to produce kind of new stuff. It was kind of pivoting. And for entrepreneurs, this isn't new. Like, this is what happens with entrepreneurship. It's hills and valleys. And so if you can master a pandemic and civil unrest, your business is going to be booming for the rest of your life.
Real. Oh, that's right. I know that's right.
Absolutely. For me, it was actually amusing because, and I say amused because I'm in a bubble. You know, when you work for yourself for 20 plus years, you're just in a bubble. Right. So I was kind of irritated when everybody was doing Zoom. Like, you know how you look sideways, like, oh,
you was like, that's what I do.
Yeah, right? I've been doing Zoom.
You know what I'm saying?
How you doing Zoom now, right?
Right. Oh, that's what we doing. Oh, we have a virtual conference. You know, I was irritated. Okay, thank you, Sharon. I was like, wait a minute, how y'all gonna come over here?
She did. She did. I will say she did throw a little shade on Zoom. She was like, well, I'm going to try something different. So why don't you going over here and use, what'd you say, Google Meet?
Why don't you Google Meet, right? So you don't have to be like that. People do not make count. Okay.
I'm doing all kind of shit. Everybody Zoom. No, we ain't doing
like, y'all coming into my lane right now. Okay, what are y'all doing here, right?
Right. Like it's new. Like, hey, check out this new kind of
but partially joking. But the other thing that it's what you said is so profound is that it really highlighted what we've been able to accomplish without the trappings of a traditional office and staff, and even though I have a team and building, because really you don't know how unproductive people are until they have to be really counted for. You understand? I think it just really increased productivity, and it also for me, like you said, kind of on the flip side, at least I'm kind of concerned because I am the person who talks to the cashier at the grocery store. Thank you. That sheet is me. Okay.
Oh, that's you. Okay.
I'm the person who will see you I see Grace at the gas station, and I done left the pump, gone over to the car, sat in your car. That's
the other tourist. Okay.
Okay. That sheet is me.
Sean, you can't do that anymore. You can't do that anymore. You can't sit at people
anymore.
You can't do that.
I can't do that anymore. So that's a great question, Maria. I'll let Lisa ask it, and then I'll be, I'm
definitely.
Sure
I'm gonna throw that at y'all before we get out of here. Yeah.
Okay. I am concerned about us returning to humanity. Us being able to, will we always be fist bumping or elbow bumping? I don't know if I like it, Sharon. I want to hug you, girl.
I do. I'm a hug and take the risk when the vaccine comes out. I'm just putting that out there. I'm being real. I have to get back to in-person stuff because although this is cool, this is fine, I really need to touch people. Oh, that sounds kind of creepy.
I'm with y'all, but I'm gonna
you're Taurus. Yeah, you're Taurus.
Y'all just be patient with me because I need those hugs, but I can wait. So I'm just I'm being real transparent. I can wait. It's coming.
It's coming. Yeah, I can wait.
Unless they said it's the last day, and for sure, then I'm gonna make some rounds till midnight. I get it. But right now, I am so good. Just being patient, and I don't think I've ever been this patient in my life. So if nothing else, this has taught me how to be patient because I'm trying to figure out. This is my luncheon thing. What is everybody lunching about going out? What is the big deal? I am so good. I have created a space in my house. This room is my oh, I just love my little office. Like, I don't have to leave. As a matter of fact, I have to force myself, because that's a negative of it. I have to force myself to get up
To go out the house
and get out, because it does feel good to get out. But I was like, hey, y'all say this is what I follow rules. Okay. I'm just saying. But before we get to the question that Maria had, Grace, real quick, what has 2020 done for you? But because this was probably perfect for planning 2021.
Okay, 2020 has been a come up for me. I have enjoyed being able to connect with my Aravistas and being able to slow down and really plan out the next 5 years in terms of the plan. Because your focus is laser beam. You don't have distractions of going out. You don't have distractions of being able to flit here and there. It's really you, yourself, and your ideas. And it's like, are you going to pull the trigger or are you going to sit still?
Yeah, absolutely.
You removed all excuses. So I've loved it.
Absolutely. This has been a win. This has been a win. Absolutely. So Maria's question was, how do you know when to leave your day job and start your own full-time thing as an entrepreneur? And I know that answer could be different for, that can vary, but any things that got you to that space. And, like Sean is, like Sharon,
14 years. Yeah. Like, so let me tell you, let me just tell you, if you're ready to do more work than you're doing now, yes. Then yes. And for the rest of your life, or your life as an entrepreneur, because becoming an entrepreneur is more. It's not so. Now you're going to have several supervisors or people that you have to be responsible for, because you are representing your brand. So it isn't as easy as going, you know what, I'm so sick and tired. I don't want to make these decisions anymore for these people. I'm getting out here and doing my own thing. Right? So not only do you have to work extra hard, you also have to prove your worth in every undertaking you have, on top of evolving. So like, entrepreneurship is no joke. And if you can keep your job and still be an entrepreneur, because I get frustrated with people saying part-time entrepreneur. No, ma'am. Entrepreneurship is entrepreneur. So like, if you want to work full-time and you want to you want to have 2 full-time positions, go and do it. But I have to tell you, for me, the reason why I left corporate things, and I'm still kind of in corporate. I work for Goldman Sachs. I'm a facilitator. I still do some things that way. But the reason why I jumped out there is because my creativity was being stifled.
Right.
And so I could not create in a space. And in fact, I was in the hospital more. The last job I had, I was in the hospital more times than not from anxiety and stress and things like that. So when it gets that, then quit your job. But other than that, no, let the money keep rolling in.
Well, because I tell you this, for me, it was, planning for retirement, and I'm setting up. So, because I know I can't sit still. So I'm just like, I want things to be in order so that when I, finish, working, but I'm too close. Yeah, I'm too close to the end. Yeah, I'm going to do both. Yeah, I'm tired sometimes, but it's good. It's good tired. And I had to learn, Sean has helped me with some of that, but I had to learn when to say stop, and pull back. So like she gave the examples, the magazine kind of disappeared for a minute, but it was because, okay, well, I got to take care of home. So, I didn't want to feel guilty about it, but it was like, okay, when I come back, I come back. And those who are for me and looking for it, it helped to hear, just to say thank you to those who said, when you going to get back to the magazine? That helped me, because it reminded me that, this was something you like. So when I do come back, you're there for me. And don't worry about it. When you got to fall back. And when you come back, those who are for you will be there for you. So
I'm going to give a little practical. I know we're women, ladies, but I talk about money.
Okay.
So I would take care of everything possible. One, I would max out whatever your 401k. I would ensure that you were handling your personal finances and make sure you have debt, paid off any debt that you have. You have a minimum. People say 3 to 6 months. If you're a homeowner, 6 months. The other thing is minimum. That means everything that you need to operate your household for 6 months. Because see, you want to think about your job as your benefactor, your corporate sponsor. So so that's fine, but you need to look at your money differently because it don't happen like that in the entrepreneur world.
Right.
No.
If I don't work, I don't eat. I don't get to have a 2-hour lunch. Lisa will tell you, listen, y'all, I'm the best employee I ever had. Y'all hear me? You hear me, Sharon? Okay, 12:01. Okay, come in.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you clock it back in, you eat, and then you back on.
Okay, I'm not gonna play myself. I didn't play with other people, I ain't playing myself. So you have to have some real come to Jesus. And you also, if you are you are in a family, you need to have real conversations with your spouse.
Yeah.
Because anyone who is married to an entrepreneur, and I'm talking about a hardcore entrepreneur, like myself, it's a special skill.
Yeah.
Special
They
requirement.
got to love you. They
got to love you, and they also have to understand what the ups and downs.
Yeah.
They also have to understand that you might have an idea at 2:00 in the morning, and the next thing you know, you're on the computer. I come from the right.
Sorry, Lawrence. Yeah. I'm apologizing to
your husband. That's what's Lawrence.
I just said pray.
He probably like, why are you telling me this? Just like, hey, how about this? Hey, how about this? He done seen more Reese, and he is not a crafter. But I'm like, before I finish, I'm just like, what you think? How, does this with the ribbon here?
Man,
developing skills. I'm But
we need to touch and agree. Just pray for
yes, right.
It's true.
What's some advice for you for somebody who's ready when what's that moment where you feel like that they should take the dive? I shouldn't say dive, but it could still be a dive. Okay.
I am one weekend, ladies. Well, I'm taking it all in, but I did exactly what both of them said. I aggressively saved and paid off all debt except for my mortgage and was done with everything by June. So sometimes you plan for it and sometimes God pushes you out there. And I felt as I was pushed out. And so I can either sink or swim. And one thing I know how to do is kick my legs and swing my arms. So
congratulations on that.
Congratulations.
Welcome.
We'll talk again in a year. I'll have more tips, but I prepared and here I am and I'm doing it and that's it.
Absolutely.
You're investing in you.
That's so good. This was great, you all. So I'm definitely gonna have you all back. But before we leave, we have a few more minutes. I usually try to end, and y'all know I have a goofy side of me. Some people didn't know that. Well, y'all did, but yeah,
I was gonna say, who didn't know? Okay.
But some people didn't know.
Some people don't know.
Some people don't know. But I don't know where y'all at. But for real. Okay, but y'all know I like to look up awareness days and things like that because people be lunching, they come up with all kinds of stuff.
Yes.
But I will tell you, so for the month of August, I've been sharing different days of the month. I don't know if you all knew, and I'm not sure if I shared this on a previous show, but August 2nd, y'all know how I feel about coloring books. I think it is the best self-care, it's the best thing to do. But August 2nd is National Coloring Book Day. I don't know if I knew that, but I am, when I get to, my mind's already working. I said, I think last year, I want to do an adult coloring book party. I'm going to do it. And I said it last year, but I'm telling you, it's coming. I'm slow with it, but it's coming. But I did want to share today, because today is August the 20th. So today, not on me, because I wanted to share with y'all. This is Lunchin with Lisa. But Lunchin has nothing to do with food. Okay, I am not supplying anybody with lunch today. There's no food involved. Luncheon for my generation is this.
You tripping.
If you think that I'm giving y'all lunch. But I will say that August 20th is actually National Lemonade Day. Yes, so if you didn't know,
I need to run to Chick-fil-A.
That's right, because
no, you don't. Because it's sugary sweet. So make lemonade. Here's pretend lemonade, water and a lemon. There you go. That's the healthiest lemonade you can drink.
That is pretend lemonade.
That's pretend. It's lemonade.
So let me just tell you, I'm moving for real. Like I'm relocating. So my refrigerator, I just threw out probably like 3 bags of lemons. So I do have to go and get somebody's lemonade. Now my favorite is not even that. It's not even Simply. It actually is Paul Newman all virgin.
Well,
That's no fructose corn syrup, no added sugar.
So on you, celebrate National Lemonade Day. But before we go, I want everybody to say where they can contact you, get your information, your planners, your business, because people need to connect with all 3 of you. So please share with everybody where they can get your information. We'll start with Grace.
You can go to www.arivista, planner.com. You can follow me on Instagram at Aravista Planner, and you can purchase your planners there. We have 3 different covers. They're gorgeous. We have a new accessories bundle, so get into it. You can email me if you have questions at hello@aravistaplanner.com.
Thank you, Grace. Okay, Sharon, where can they catch you?
SharonWatch.com, and I'm on Instagram, Facebook, any social media, and you can see me at CEOP3. So check me out and say hello. Don't just follow me randomly.
Right. That's right. Say hello.
Say hello.
And Sean, where can they catch you?
Yes, you can get me at SeanMMason.com, but we're actually moving it. It's going to be Marketing with Sean. We launched September 1st with our new website. So marketingwithsean.com. Yes, super excited. Great new photos. Oh my gosh, incredible. Black excellence, y'all. It's just incredible. People that are working on my team right now. But you also get me on Instagram, Sean M. Mason Biz, which is still be Marketing with Sean. And Facebook, LinkedIn, wherever it is. But like you said, tell me I heard you on Lunchin with Lisa, so I can give you a little shout out.
Yeah, so I wanted to just let everybody know that Lunchin with Lisa comes on every Thursday, 7 to 8, live on the Lunchin with Lisa show. I think we will be moving to actually push it live for YouTube as well. And I did want to share with everybody that we're working on for some of you all might not know, I have my own online magazine as well, Global Magazine. So Dove Style Magazine is actually going to be sponsoring some live virtual interviews with some of the people that have been in our magazine. So we have a couple of interviews coming up with Gail Crowder, who has done a mom virtual makeover. And she's actually in the magazine this month. So check her feature out, but we'll be doing a live interview with her and the winner. And we're also going to be interviewing Easy Baldwin and his wife, Jennifer. He had a bout with COVID and they got through it as a team. And I want to share their amazing story. Their story is also in Dove Style Magazine. And I wanted to share a little tidbit before we leave. We are actually planning something called, and I know Sharif, I'm going to get this right. We are doing an event called Who Rules the World, Boys or Girls Relationship Remix. And it's going to be an event, probably a Saturday evening date night. We're going to be looking for some participants to come on, and we're going to talk about what they hear versus what we said. We're going to talk about some questions that men are asking. We are doing some research out there that questions men have for women about why are we just starting arguments for no reason at all. We're gonna talk to the men about why can't we have that French fry off your plate? What is the big deal? We are one. Okay, so why is the toilet seat up? We're talking about all of it. So this is going to be really cool. We have a wonderful host. We're going to share more details on this coming up probably the month of September. So we got a lot of wonderful things happening, and I wanted to make sure you all reach out. Lunchin with Lisa is a Facebook page, as well as I share the shows on my YouTube page, which is Lisa Dove Washington. You can also find Lunchin with Lisa shows on my Dove Style magazine. I've actually housed it within my magazine so that you can actually go check out all of the shows as we have them, and check out all the articles while you're there too. The magazine is global and growing, so please like, share, love with everyone you know, all of our businesses, not just mine, but everybody's. And I thank you all for coming on to Lunchin with Lisa. I had a ball, and I look forward to having y'all back. This was wonderful. So thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you next week.
All right. Thanks, ladies. Awesome. Bye.